Parents, welcome to Parent Night. I am Mr. Salgado, right there. That's me, Anyway, I teach Algebra 1 and Algebra 2, and this is kind of distracting, isn't it? Okay. Anyhow, let me use this video to explain what your son or daughter goes through on a regular basis. Well, they first walk into class, and they should have a class opener written on the front of the board. That way they could immediately get started on math that's related to the previous homework assignment. So they should know all the math that's up there immediately right when they come into class. So I give them a couple of minutes to do that, because after a couple of minutes pass by, I ask for a volunteer, and that person actually goes up to the front of the class and works out the problem. As you could see here, this student is working on the problem on the class opener up there. And then once she's done, she gives the marker to any student that she wants. The student does not have to volunteer. She could give the marker to anybody. Everybody's supposed to be ready to answer the next question. And there's another student up there working on the next problem. And then that student gives it to another student, and so on and so on. It produces a very fluid setting where students are just going up, working on a problem, giving it to another student. That person goes up, works out the problem, gives it to another student, and so on until we're completely done with the class opener. After we finish the class opener, we jump to our notes. Sometimes I project them, like I am right here. Sometimes I give them a handout with these notes on there. Sometimes they copy it directly from the board. But we go through our notes, and then after we're done taking notes, I try to give them time to work on homework in class. A lot of times students will finish the homework in class and not have anything to do at home, but sometimes they will have homework to finish at home. By the way, I also want to mention that everything should be written in the notebooks. I encourage students to get a composition book like this one, or perhaps a spiral notebook like this one. I mean, they could even use a 3-ring binder if they want, but the bottom line is everything goes inside this notebook. Everything. I'm talking about class openers, class notes, whether it's written down or typed up and handed to them, they're going to stick it on there. Everything goes in here. Every single page should have a title and a date. Let me open this notebook up to show you. So as you can see, on the inside of the cover, you have the syllabus, which parents you should have signed and the students should have signed. As we flip through the pages, you will see that we have written notes, we have typed up notes, and more importantly, every page has the title, as you can see here, 0.2 notes, and the date and the day. So it's always a great idea to have everything with the date and day on it and with the title. Flipping through the pages, we see handouts that have to be filled out and homework written out. Flipping through. So I think you guys get the idea that everything's in the notebook. Handouts, class openers, homeworks, notes, and even tests. So on this test, the student stuck it in their notebook, got a great grade, a B. However, if they're not completely satisfied with it, they could do test corrections. That's why it says test corrections up here, and I will automatically give the student an extra 5% boost. So if I actually lift up this test, you'll see test corrections. As you could see here, the test corrections, it's not just about copying the question and doing it over again. You have to really understand your mistake. So as you could see down here, they copy the question over again, and not only that, they have to give a written explanation of what they're doing on each step. So if they get that done, they get an extra 5 points added onto their grade. A 95 goes to 100, 55 goes up to a 60. Now, if they have a horrible grade, like a 60 or a 50-something, after doing test corrections, they could retake the test. That is right. Once you do the test corrections, you could retake a quiz or test as long as it's done within 1 week. And also, there's another little slight detail that the maximum grade a student could bump their test grade up to is a 79.9 B-. So if a student gets a C- and they ace the test on a retake, they will change their C- to a B-. Again, the max boost is a 79.9% B minus. The reason for that is it really separates the A students from everybody else. So technically, it doesn't matter how bad a student is doing, they could always come in for tutoring, retake the test, and they should be able to pull off at least a B in the class. So this does lead us to the actual grade. How does your son or daughter actually get graded in my class? This is a screenshot straight from my grade book online. Quizzes are worth 25%, tests are worth 39%, the fall final exams 20%, the midterms 10%. Now citizenship and notebook is a total of 6%, right? So keep in mind that your tests and quizzes could be retaken, right? Now the midterm and the final you can't retake, but you do have total control over all these tests and quizzes. You could retake them, or you could at least get extra credit by doing corrections. So I know you're probably thinking, wait a minute, quizzes, tests, fall final, fall midterm, those are all tests, some sort of assessment. That's right, the majority of the grade comes from tests, and only 5% comes from notebook. So you're probably thinking, why does my son or daughter even want to do the notebook? Well, the truth is, I've never seen a good notebook belong to a student that's flunking the class. If they're maintaining a good notebook, they're doing all their homework, they're going to do well on the quizzes and tests. It's this simple, guys. All the quizzes and tests, all those test questions, where do I get them from? I cut and paste straight from the homework. So if they're doing the homework, they're understanding the homework, then they should be doing great on those tests. I guess I should say quizzes and tests have homework questions in them. Fall final, fall midterm, that's from the district. I don't really have total control of what goes into those tests. So the quizzes and tests do represent the homework that they practice with. Another thing that's very, 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 very important in my class is for your son or daughter to log on to Edmodo.com. It's really like an online class. I post everything on my online class. My handouts, my notes, videos explaining lessons, everything. Once you log in, you'll be able to see this. And if you scroll down, you'll be able to see everything that we do on a daily basis. I'm talking everything. As you can see right here, it says 8:31 Wednesday. I've attached everything we did today. And if you click on this link right here, it'll actually open up the homework. There's a picture of the class opener that we did in class. And if you scroll down, you'll see some blank notes. And if you scroll down more, you'll see the handout, but with everything done on it. It's a picture of everything worked out. So everything is on Edmodo. They should be logging in every single night, checking for messages, checking for homework solutions, videos, everything. Not only that, if they didn't understand what I posted or they had a question, there's an area right here where it says type a reply. They could ask a question and I'll get it on my phone and I could reply to them, maybe post a video to help them out. So I hope this was a good video for you guys to know what goes on in the class. Thank you for coming.